Hello, it's Philip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers in London. I'm doing a short review today on a book from Edward ELGAR Publishers. They're the independent publishers based in Cheltenham. This book is on the European Union design approach, and it's a global appraisal. It's been written to us, sent to us by ELGAR, and it's been edited by three people: Annette, Marianne, Levin, and Jens Schovsbo. It's available both online and as a hardback book. We've got the hardback book here, which they've sent us for review, and I've given the title for our book review, An Important Contribution Towards Design Protection, because that's what it's aiming at. It's the basic approach. Let's look at the book. Here it is. It's a very small book. There we go. The hardback, the spine, and then there's some basic information which I've used in the review from the back. The publisher, the actual three authors are all professors and very, very experienced people. I'll explain a little bit more about that in a minute. You can see the blurb about Edward ELGAR at the bottom. Now, the index at the back is by page numbering. Total number of pages under 300, 270 odd. There's the front page there. And then after that you've got the blurb, including the details about the ebook. Then you've got the content section there, and you've got the names of the people who have been involved in actually writing the various chapters. There are 11 chapters in total. Then you've got the contributors listed there. There are quite a few of them. I'm not going to name them by name. Then you've got a preface, which I think is very helpful, which sets the scene. It says the European Union constitutes an important exception to the general legislative disinterest in design protection and a traditional either copyright or patent style protection approach. So you can see the arguments are being put forward. The preface was written in March 2018. You've then got the actual book itself. You see the content section there. This is the first section, the introduction. There is use of footnotes throughout, which is very helpful. There isn't any real paragraphing as such, so there's just the body copy of the book itself. But you do have some subheads to assist. It's a heavy book too. It's not an easier book, but I think it'd be interesting from a practitioner's point of view as well as an academic point of view, bearing in mind where we're going at the moment with the European Union. Because what you've got here is EU legislation for the protection of design has been described as a third way, in contrast to traditional concepts of design protection. And the book, of course, provides through the contributions, quote, a thorough appraisal of the EU's unique design approach, assessing its formation, development and impact over the past decade. And I think that's really very important, because irrespective of Brexit, we still got a great deal of information and persuasive thought about the way we're going to go ahead, notwithstanding the fact that Britain has decided to leave the European Union, because the EU still has and will have a very prominent role to play in our lives for the years to come, whatever happens on March the 29th. And what we get here as practitioners with the EU design approach is an exploration of by the 10 contributors of the rationale behind the creation of the approach. That includes contributions from two leading EU scholars who were involved in its conception. And of course the contributing authors provide an assessment of the impact that the design approach has had on present EU laws as they stand, both that includes, of course, national law systems and adjacent areas of law, including both copyright and competition law. And as I'm sure all of you are aware, all of this is very heavily linked at the moment with our membership of the European Union, and so there will be quite substantial change on the way. The chapters also look at more problematic issues associated with the approach, such as the following: the role of design law in the wider EU framework for the protection of product shapes, and the balancing of interest between rights holders and users. So overall, the book demonstrates that the design approach has been largely successful in its aims, despite there being some ongoing points of contention. And I think that intellectual property scholars will find this book very valuable. Certainly those who practice will too, because it's a valuable resource of both historic and comparative analysis. And of course, as I say, those who practice in this specialist area of IP, both as in law firms and at the bar, as lawyers, will find it, and I think also policymakers will find it, will be of benefit with the inclusion of up-to-date EU and national case law. And I think it should be noted that the book is available as an ebook as well as the standard hardback, and you can get it from Google Play and on all the online sites. The book was published on the 15th of August 2018, and it's also available, as I say, as an ebook. But for the purposes of this review, I'm actually using the book. This is the hardback here. Just have a look at it again. Just opening it in the middle, you can see here, design protection for products that are dictated by function. There we go. You see the detail, and there's the actual footnoting. As I say, I think it is for a small market legally, this particular book, within the legal world. But I think what you've got here is a very useful book for both academics and practitioners. And as I say, the index at the back is particularly useful. It's not a big index. What we have got at the front, I didn't actually see any specific, we've got abbreviations which are very helpful, but there is no actual specific case law. So if you're looking for any specific cases, you will find them actually in the index section at the back. Well, a big thank you to the three editors, and of course to ELGAR. ELGAR provide us with a very high quality of publication, and this is very much from their stable. They continue to give us a very good service, and I'm very grateful to all of them, to everybody who's been involved in this publication, because we are at a turning point at the moment. I don't quite know where we're going to be going in the future as a country, or in fact what is going to happen within Europe or globally. So I think this book is a very useful contribution to the continuing debate. Thank you to all anyway. Bye-bye.